Again, hello to those of you who have just joined us for today's webinar. Of course, we will be talking about the Professionals Invest USA Network. We'll go ahead and jump right in today. We want to be respectful of everybody's time and make sure that we're getting you the information you want in a timely way. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Megan Hartman. I am with the Professionals Invest USA Network, and I will be starting us off, getting this webinar set up. Then we will be hearing from the head of the Professionals Invest Network for North America, Mark Vost. He'll tell us a little bit more about the network and the system. And then we will be hearing from Jeff Shadrick as well, who is one of our valued investor providers, who does provide the properties that we have, or some of the properties, I should say. We do have providers across the United States. But Jeff will be talking to us about what's happening in Birmingham, Alabama, and some fantastic opportunities that we have there. Just as some housekeeping items, the phones will be muted during the presentation so that we don't have any background noise. This presentation is also being recorded and will be made available after the call to all attendees of the webinar. We have set time aside at the end of the presentation for questions, but please do feel free to ask questions throughout the presentation if you like to. Again, you can use on the right hand of your screen the question box that's in the lower right hand corner. And so please do feel free to communicate with us as we go through. In case you're having any trouble identifying that question box, here's what it looks like. And if you can't find the question box to begin with, please click the red arrow in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. So again, welcome and thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Today's webinar is designed to help you learn more about the Professionals Invest Network and why now is a great time to invest in cash flowing properties. Not only are we going to tell you about how our network of turnkey investment property providers works, but we're also featuring one of the areas that we have properties in that allows you to purchase properties that are already significantly cash flowing and is not dependent on future market conditions. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Again, I'd like to introduce Mark Vost, who is the head of North American operations, who can tell us more about the Professionals brand and, of course, the Professionals Invest Network.
Thank you, Megan. Good evening or good day to any Australians who happen to be on the call. I know some of you are listening in, so welcome. Speaking, the Professionals brand did originate in Australia over 30 years, as the slide says, 30 years ago, and today has grown to over 300 offices throughout Australasia. It is the third most recognized brand in Australia, and it has an extremely high established reputation for high quality real estate operators. And why that's important is in 2011, Professionals came to the United States and started franchising its real estate opportunity and its unique way of offering a membership to real estate franchises. And out of that grew the Professionals Invest Network. It is a trusted international brand, and we've already completed transactions with people from Australia, from New Zealand, and even Japan was one that we just closed the other day. So pretty excited about that. But getting more into what the Invest Network is all about. It's a full cycle, and I know later on Jeff's got a great slide that shows the full cycle of the process of developing a turnkey investment property, and the full process being from acquisition of a property, the refurbishment of the property, the renting out of the property, and ultimately having the property management in there. And Jeff do a great job explaining that. But all the opportunities we're talking about in our network is full turnkey properties. So you as an investor can find a property. Most of them are already rented out, ready to go, cash flowing properties. And what we've done as a network is assembled the providers of these properties, run them through a carefully vetted process to ensure that they are the quality owners of the businesses with the reputation, so that everybody wins in this process, because it does no good to make a quick buck, if you will, if the investor, you, the people listening tonight, aren't being taken care of. And know that the people you're dealing with have done high quality work with the properties and represent you and take care of your interest in those the property management of those properties. So we've got this qualified network supporting both U.S. and international buyers. For the international buyers on the line today, just so you know, if you don't have the right entities set up or have an entity set up in the United States, we can help you do that through a number of our supporting partners. And if, for instance, if you want to purchase properties using an LLC, and again, we have that both for USA based and international, but I know it's a bigger challenge for the international buyers establishing bank accounts. And so we provide all of those services through our network. One of the keys to our property, besides having our providers of properties um, sign up for and agree to a high set of ethical standards in all areas of their business, is that the property management must be performed by the property providers. What we found is by having them owned, the property management portion owned by these very same providers, is that they have a very vested interest in to make sure that you're being taken care of, you're receiving a high level of service, and your needs are being met when it comes to the ongoing property management of your investment property. Of course, what we're talking about is real assets with real gains, not a piece of paper, not something that's subject to the winds and the fluctuations of what somebody says or doesn't say, but solid assets, someplace you can go, you can touch, you can feel, you can see. And again, the whole process that we've put together is transparent and seamless with full disclosures every step of the way. And Megan, you can tell us a little bit about that process.
Great. Thanks so much, Mark. What you're looking at here is what we call our pathway to successful investing. And really, what we want you to see is that we're with you every step of the way, all the way from helping you identify the best opportunities for you based on your goals and risk tolerance, of course, through getting you access to high quality legal, tax, and banking professionals, through to purchasing a property and helping you do your due diligence, and then, of course, all the way through closing with ongoing reporting and contact from the Professionals Invest Network and, of course, the investor providers who participate with our network to support you if you choose to invest in additional properties in the future. Now, what we're looking at here, you've likely seen it before. It seems like we hear it just about everywhere these days. But this is Warren Buffett when he said that he would purchase a couple 100,000 single family homes if he had a way to do that in a single transaction or limited transactions. Obviously, that's not exactly feasible. But the importance of this quote from Warren Buffett is that purchasing a tangible asset in a landlord friendly time where rent increases are happening in many parts of the country is a good investment. In fact, Warren Buffett feels that properties held over a long period of time at low rates are an even better investment than the stock market. And certainly, with what's going on in the market right now, a little bit more reliable and tangible than most of what we're seeing today. Now, what we're looking at here is the largest single purchaser of investment properties as a large buyer. And so, what that means is that Blackstone, they actually they took heed of Warren Buffett's quote as well, and it was within either 7 days or 10 days. Do you remember,
I
Mark?
believe it was 10 days.
Yeah, within 10 days, they were already out. They had their people on the ground purchasing large quantities of foreclosed homes. And they are huge hedge funds that have literally billions of dollars that they can spend looking to acquire these properties. And so I think what's really important to see right now is Blackstone, who again is the largest purchaser of investment, is seeing about a 2-year window for the average investor to be able to buy houses before the market just gets to where there's not a lot of inventory and the competition is likely to be too aggressive at that point. If you look just a little bit down here in the article, already this year they've invested about $1.5 billion in foreclosed homes, and they're just getting started. They anticipate spending major dollars again going into 2013 and for at least a few years to come. So, pretty interesting what they have to say there. But even more interesting is, of course, the reason that you logged into the call, which is to hear about what is happening with specific properties and specific opportunities that you could have access to if you're interested in getting into investing properties. So I would like to introduce Jeff Shadrick. Again, Jeff is one of our valued investor providers, and he's going to talk to you about inventory in Alabama, specifically the Birmingham area. So, Jeff, please go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Megan, and hello to everybody on the webinar. Glad that you decided to join us tonight. Hopefully, you'll get some information that you'll find compelling and will motivate you to look into the real estate realm as a viable investment product. Just to tell you a little bit about our management team, and we are Alabama Wealth Builders. We cover the entire state of Alabama. We purchase investment properties throughout the state and some of the key markets here. That's me there on the left, Jeff Shadrick. I'm one of the founding partners and head of sales and investor services. Merv Plank is also one of the founding partners and is currently head of our acquisitions. Merv goes out and finds all of these great deals for us. And then once we get all of the deals, then Jennifer Brown, who is also a co-owner, handles working on the renovation of those homes and also placing of tenants and the ongoing property management through her staff. So we've got a very diverse group. Each of us have 20 plus years in the real estate and construction arena. So we've been in this for a long time. We know how to acquire properties the right way and as well as manage those properties throughout their lifespan. Just a little more about Alabama Wealth Builders. We are a full-service turnkey real estate investment company, and we really are founded on the principles of providing high-quality real estate investment opportunities coupled with superior levels of service. What that allows us to do is really build long-term relationships with our clients, and that's what it's really about. At the end of the day, is that we're not in this for the one sale and out for each of our properties. We want to cultivate and develop relationships with our clients so that they buy multiple properties from us and feel like they get the service and respect that they deserve. So in part of that, what we do is we try to work with and educate each of our clients to ensure that they have the most profitable and enjoyable real estate investment experience. So we assist our clients with every step of the investment process, all the way from the acquisition through the renovation, through the renting of the property, as well as through the sales process, any financing they might pull in, and as well as well as the property management ongoing. Some of the key benefits of using our investment services, it's a very dependable monthly income for you. It offers steady appreciation through the purchase of real estate. Through working with our team, as well as a professionals team, we also have access to undervalued property sources that you wouldn't ordinarily find if you were trying to do it on your own. We have professionally renovated homes. We own and monitor every step of the renovation process, so we're involved, and we have a strict set of standards for each of our homes. And then each one of our team members has a major goal of providing the highest level of superior customer service that they can. We also have dependable and professional property management. As I'll talk about in a minute, we own that process. We own our own property management company. So when you start working with our company, you'll continue to work with our company even after the sale through the property management side. We also do something for our clients as well. We feel like education is a big part of what we offer, and so we offer continuous real estate education programs to individuals that work with us. We are affiliated with some of the national leaders in the real estate field. We have access to a vast network to gain additional real estate education as well. And then, of course, we offer the tax-free and tax-deferred investment options and can help walk you through those processes from start to finish as well. So you might be thinking, well, why real estate? And why do you do what you do? Well, our company, maybe just a little bit of background for myself, is I've spent about 18 years as a trust and institutional advisor for some of the largest banks in the U.S. and Canada. And what I started finding was, as I paid attention to what the investments that my clients were investing in or wanting to get more involved in, was that over and over they kept coming to me and buying more and more real estate. And so it doesn't take long to really learn and watch what wealthy people are currently doing, to where if you want to become wealthy, you start to emulate what they do. And so I started to realize that these guys are out buying real estate, and they're building their wealth through that channel. One of the things that people ask me a lot is, what is true wealth? Well, what does that mean? There's a difference between being rich and being wealthy, and we've defined being wealthy as owning income-producing assets that generate enough passive income to cover all of your expenses, while at the same time maintaining or expanding your expected standard of living. And that to me really wraps up the true definition of wealth. Rich is, I make a nice salary and I can pay all my bills, but if that job goes away, then what happens to my income source? It goes away. So if you build true wealth and you have income producing assets, it doesn't matter if you lose your job or if you decide that you want to retire. That income stream continues whether you get up and clock in or not. So we strive to build true wealth as opposed to building riches. Just a comparison here. I'd like to put this slide in here just to kind of give you an idea of the comparison to traditional investing in the stock market or bond market as opposed to investing in real estate. And this is really just basically taken on an example of if you have $100,000 to invest. If you invest $100,000 in the stock market, you put $100,000 in, and you hope that your $100,000 makes you money over time. But with real estate, you get the power of leverage, and that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize with real estate, is that you can take $100,000 and leverage that up to almost $400,000 in buying power and investment power. And what that really does is it gives you more bang for your buck. Just to touch on a few items here, ultimately, obviously, you win the income. With stocks and bonds, you're going to get dividends. You're going to get some capital appreciation, you hope, over time. But with rental properties, right now is an extraordinary time because it's quite easy to get 10+% return on your investment for your minimal investment dollars. You can also see that $100,000 appreciate as the market returns to $400,000 or more, just based on the fact that we're buying at such depressed levels, and you can buy at entry points now to where over time, when the market corrects itself, that appreciation on your property is going to outpace that of the stock market. Risk, one of the things that we always look at in an investment is how risky is my investment. Well, if you invest in stocks and bonds, you're totally dependent on what happens in the market and what happens in the economy. With real estate, it's not so much tied to what's going on in the market. Something that happens in China or one of the other foreign markets doesn't have a direct impact on what your investment property returns because it's a local investment. And when you buy that property, you're buying it based on the income level that's guaranteed to return for you. So you're not so dependent on variations in the market. And then, of course, with with an additional side on risk is that when you buy a stock, you get a piece of stock certificate. If you're lucky, they don't usually issue those anymore, but you get a statement every quarter that says this is what you own and this is what it's done. But with a piece of real estate, you get a property that has a title to it, and it also has a rental income base on the back side of it that that helps hedge you against risks that you would be facing in your investment. As Mark alluded to earlier, our turnkey model is, you'll see here in front of you, this is what individuals talk about when they talk about full service turnkey investing. There are individuals that will tell you that they do turnkey investing, but what they're really telling you is that they're just basically buying and selling, and they're placing a tenant, and once you purchase the property from them, then they move on and you never hear from them again. That's not what we do. That's not what our program provides, nor does the professionals program provide. We own and operate every piece of the full turnkey model. And that starts with the acquisition, moves through to the renovation phase. We handle all of the tenant placement. We handle the process of the sales, and then after the sale, we stick with you through the property management through our own property management company. So, we really own all of the process. There's no other. When you start to deal with us and you buy properties from us, you'll be dealing with us from start to finish, and then going forward. Just a little bit about our property management group. Our property management company is REI Management Services, LLC. It's a wholly owned and operated by Alabama Wealth Builders. Our team has over 17 years of property management experience. We know our market. We know the houses. We know what the rent amounts are. We have a good grasp on the tenant base here, something I'll talk about a little bit later in the presentation. And then one of the things that we like, and we feel like some of the benefits are from us owning that process, is that it really ensures that our interests are aligned with those of our clients. It's not like we sell you a property and then you move on, or we move on, and you never have to deal with us again. By us owning that process, we want to continue to cultivate that relationship, and so by owning the property management line, it makes sure that we stay in line and that have your best interest in our mind. It also provides for full oversight. If we subbed out the property management side, we would really be dependent on their staff and their policies to drive how our rentals do. By owning that process, we don't have to. We get full oversight every week. We get reports that show us how our properties are doing and how our clients' properties are behaving, and then we can make adjustments if we need to on the spot, and don't have to put in calls and wait for somebody to respond. You also get the benefit of you get to call us directly if you have questions, and we're intimately familiar with those properties and can answer your questions on the spot. And it also aids in our overall goal to provide customer service, as I alluded to. So what's going on in Birmingham? Let's talk about the market a little bit. Birmingham is a rather large southern city. We are second to the Atlanta market, I guess, in size for the state of Alabama. We are the largest market in the state of Alabama. We have a lot of activity going on. We're going through a bit of a revitalization for the city of Birmingham. What you see here are just some photos of some of our better attractions that are either in the works or are currently available to residents and tourists that come to our market. That first city, the first picture that you see there is a picture of our railroad park, and that was a recent addition. It has an amphitheater. We host concerts there, things of that nature. The city hosts concerts there. Um, Really nice area for individuals that work and live in the downtown area to come and walk and get outside. To the right there on the top is a picture of our downtown city center, which is will be finished this month. That was about a $77 million addition to our civic center and hotel. There's a brand new hotel facility there, and also a restaurant and entertainment district that was added very recently. You'll see the little picture down there with all of the cars and the motorcycles. Birmingham is the site of the Barbers Motor Speedway and Motorcycle and Car Museum. Tourists come around. I'm sure you've heard of Talladega Motor Speedway. Uh, we host the NASCAR races every year, and it's really a fantastic venue for tourism in our area, as well as employment. The middle bottom picture there is the new minor league baseball stadium. We have the Birmingham Barons, which are the minor league team for the Chicago White Sox, and they just built a brand new stadium downtown to host those games for the Birmingham Barons. And then, of course, to the right there is kind of a castle-looking item. That is our Robert Trent Jones PGA golf course. They host the annual Seniors PGA tournament at this location, and they've been doing that for about probably 20 plus years now. It's really a fantastic event. Has a full hotel with a spa and restaurant, dining, and resort. So it's really more of a resort for golf. Just a little bit more about our primary market. Our primary market is Birmingham. We offer. I'll talk about some of the other markets that we're in as well. But Birmingham is the largest and most populated city in the state of Alabama. It's also one of the most affordable cities in the U.S. to live in. Currently, our cost of living is about 13% below the national average, and home prices are currently at historically low levels. The economy here is very diverse. We have manufacturing, higher education, medical professions, and banking being some of the top employers. And you'll see just some of the logos there of some of the companies that are headquartered here or have large manufacturing plants here. Honda and Mercedes all have large U.S.-based plants here. Books A Million is founded here. We also have a medical school and college, UAB Medical Center and UAB College and Medical Center is probably nationally known for its services. We also host the SEC, which is the Southeastern Conference, which is obviously a sports arena. Protective Life Insurance is also headquartered here. One of the things that makes Birmingham really attractive from an income property perspective is that we have a very high rental base here. We have about 46% of our population are renters, and currently our rental rates are on the rise. So if you see that we have low acquisition prices and our rental rates are on the rise, it really kind of sets up for some really nice investment opportunities here in our area. Just a quick note about some of our other markets. We also purchase homes, income properties in the Huntsville, Alabama, which is North Alabama. Tuscaloosa is middle of the state, kind of a western side section of the state for us. It's also home to the University of Alabama, which has over 30,000 students, which also all need a place to rent. We also operate in Montgomery area, which is the state capital of Alabama. Montgomery also hosts 3 military bases, which have a very good pool of renters for those individuals who are stationed at those bases. And then, of course, south, we have a coastal city, which is Mobile, and is a very popular tourism city, and also has a very robust manufacturing base as well. So a lot of blue collar workers. Our most of our employees and most of our rental base here are a lot of blue collar workers that need rentals and low cost housing. Just to give you a little bit of information about the criteria and some of the property types and what we look for, we built most of our homes here locally are either built between 1935 and 2005. Our purchase price ranges are between 45 and 95,000, and most of them average around the 1,000 to 1,700 square feet range. We typically don't buy anything that is less than 3-bedroom, 1-bath. Almost all of our properties are 3-bedroom, 1-bath, or 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We buy specifically in mixed renter-owner neighborhoods, but one of the key factors we look for is that they are in desirable school districts. A lot of our renters obviously have children, and so that weighs upon their rental decision is, do they want their kids to be going to school in those neighborhoods? So we weigh that heavily on our decision whether or not to buy in a specific area. We also don't buy anything that will generate rents of less than 700. So everything that we typically rent out is going to be 700 or better. Our average rental return is going to be between $850 and $900 a month in our area. And then the last thing being that we don't buy anything that's not going to generate at least a cash-on-cash return of 10% or better. Let's talk about some of the properties that we have. This is just a sample property. This property was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property that that property sold for $74,900. Had a gross cash flow of $1,100 a month and generated after expenses $359 in income for a finance deal, and for a cash purchase would have generated or did generate $661 a month in income. That's a 10.6% cash-on-cash return for an all-cash purchase, and 23% return on your money if that were a financed purchase. This next property is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath property that sold for $42,900. Had a gross monthly rent of $775 and generated $494.88 in cash flow after expenses. Birmingham, Alabama in the whole has a really good insurance base, and property taxes are really low compared to some of the other national markets. So you get to benefit from that on a monthly basis based on the lower income taxes that or property taxes you pay on our properties. This one had a particular return on investment of over 13%. This next property is a property more of a bungalow style property, 3-bedroom, 1-bath. We have a lot of these type properties here in our area, all built around the same time frame, post-World War II era. This particular property was listed at $38,500, had a cash flow of $527 a month after expenses, and generated a very nice return on investment as well. You can see just by some of the pictures there where the level of rehab that we do. And we typically go in and renovate. We're doing all hardwood floors if the property has them. We really like to buy properties with hardwoods just because they're easier to maintain, and you don't have to worry about those expenses when tenants move out. You don't have to worry about replacing carpet. All fresh paint on the inside and out. New kitchens, appliances are all added into our properties, and we take care of the majors so that you don't have to do that later on down the road. We're going to make sure that roof is in good condition or replaced. Water heaters are replaced. Plumbing lines are repaired. We make sure that the electrical is up to code, and we also make sure that the HVAC systems, HVAC, the heating and cooling systems, are either brand new or serviceable. I'd say probably about 99% of the properties we're replacing the AC units in. This next property is in a neighborhood in North Birmingham, which is we call Center Point, at a sales price of $57,900, generated $900 a month in gross income, and on an all-cash purchase generated $583 after expenses for the investor. Had over a 12% return on your money, and you can see there that this was a really nice property. The inside was really done really well, and has a great renter, which is this particular renter here actually asked if they could stay here and eventually purchase those properties. And that's one of the things that a lot of our tenants will ask us when they move in is, at some point down the road, would you be open to selling this property to us? Just because the level of rehab that we do, they're not able to find comparable properties for these types of prices. This next property is a property that we sold for $47,900, generated $850 a month in income, and had over $500 after expenses cash flow to the investor. You can see that the cash-on-cash return for this property was 14%, which is really great. This was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property. This property is another one of those bungalow-style properties, completely done inside and out, all new electrical, HVAC, and new roof, new bathroom, new kitchen. I mean, this property was done top to bottom. Sale price of $39,900, generated $490 after expenses and cash flow for the investor, and had over 14% return on investment. Sample property 7. This is a little community we call Hueytown, which is kind of a western section of Birmingham. Had over $900 a month in rental income, and generates over $600 in after expenses for a cash purchase. 12% return on investment, and then almost a 29% return on a finance deal. And I'll talk a little bit about financing as we get a little farther into this. This next property was a 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath property. It was a complete renovation as well. This property is rented for $800 a month and generates over a 13% return on all cash purchase, $523 a month in after expenses return. So let's talk about maybe a little bit of the investing options. You can obviously purchase with cash if you have that ability. That gives you the ability to have your asset paid off. You get to generate the full amount of income on a monthly basis. And a lot of our investors choose to purchase with cash just based on the purchase prices of our properties. It just makes it really attractive to use cash to purchase. We can also work with you to show you how to use self-directed IRAs. So if you have a self-directed IRA or interested in establishing a self-directed IRA, a lot of people don't know that you can buy property in your IRA that is completely safe and allowed by the government. So we can walk you through that process. We have partners at all of the major IRA custodians that can help you set up your self-directed IRA account and allow you to purchase investment properties. They will do all of the record keeping and all the tax reporting for you, and so it's very hands-off. Your IRA just grows at a much faster rate than it would normally grow based on the fact that you get higher returns on your rental property as opposed to your traditional investment avenues. And then you can also use traditional lender financing. We're finding that a lot of our investors now want to use the power of leverage to be able to buy multiple properties with their available funds. There are some very good rates now. We have some preferred lenders that we can put you in contact with that can help you get financed and help you buy these properties. Um, the last time I checked, the last deal we did, they were averaging in the 4.25% range, and they'll do up to 80% financing. So all it requires is a 20% down payment, and then they will finance those properties for you. One thing to keep in mind with doing lender financing is that Fannie Mae has a limit on traditional financing now for properties that they will insure. It will only allow you to have up to 10 financed properties at any given time. So most investors obviously try to max out that 10 as quick as possible, especially given the low interest rate environment that we're in currently. So how do we get started? Well, you can contact the Professionals Invest Network and whoever referred you to this webinar. That individual will then refer you to us. We'll discuss your investment goals and your investment timeline. We'll show you what properties are available and get you in line for one of our investment properties. Right now our properties are moving rather quickly. So the quicker you can get your, you can pick a property and get all of your information together and get that down payment in, then the better your chances are of preserving a property that meets your investment criteria. Um, Once you pick that property, then you just reserve that property with your earnest money deposit, and then determine which is your best investment option, whether you're going to use cash, a retirement account, or do traditional financing. From there, we sign the contract and we go to closing. And then as soon as that's done, we'll walk you through the process and we'll start sending you your monthly income checks. So Megan, you want to jump back in? I think that's pretty much what I had to go over.
Great. Thank you so much, Jeff. We really appreciate the presentation that you've done and, of course, telling us more about Birmingham as well as looking at some of those fantastic returns that you all have available. Um, I do want to thank everybody for joining us, and we do hope you enjoyed learning more about the Professionals Invest Network. We are going to open it up here for questions in just about 1 minute, but we hope that you really had a chance to see why now is a great time to invest in cash flowing properties. And as we said earlier, our network of turnkey investment providers are nationwide. So while we featured Birmingham today, that already has properties that are again showing significant cash flow, we do have investment property providers in other parts of the country. So we encourage you to reach out to us if you have any questions about what you saw today, want to learn more about other opportunities, or start looking at specific investments for you to be able to move into. So with that, let me go ahead. Okay, great. We've got a couple questions coming in here. The first question we have, Jeff, is there's quite a range of purchasing prices. Is it better, in your opinion, to buy a lower priced home or a higher priced house in that market?
That's a great question. Um, it really just depends on your investment strategy and the amount of funds that you have to invest. Really, what you'll see is obviously the higher the rents, the higher the acquisition price is, and that really is driven by the the location of the property. So, all of our properties are purchased in good, stable neighborhoods. So there's no issue with, if I buy a lower price property, then I'm going to get a worse neighborhood. It just really means that you're going to you'll see an increase in your monthly income. Um, it really is all driven by the amount of investable funds that you have and how many properties you want to buy. You may come and say, I have $100,000 to invest. What's my best option? And what we'll try to do is get the most bang for your buck in the market. Obviously a property that is higher priced, what you tend to see is those properties will see a little bit higher rate of appreciation when the market starts to turn around. So that's probably really the only difference that I can see, is that long term you may get a little bit more price appreciation in a higher priced property versus a lower priced property.
Okay, great. Um, let's move on to the next question here. And the question is basically, do the laws of Alabama support the owner? And I'm assuming the owner means the landlord. Is it a landlord friendly state?
Yes, it is. That's one of the reasons that we operate in this market, is that Alabama is very landlord friendly. So if you have to evict a tenant, it is a very short process. We can typically have a tenant out of a property completely by following the state laws. We can have them out within 30 days. So all Alabama requires is two 10-day pay or quit notices and a notice of eviction. So it's a very landlord-friendly state, and it's really easy for us to get um, uh, individuals who are not paying out of a property and get someone in quickly who is.
Great. Jeff, the next question we have is sort of a two-part question. And the first part of the question is, do most of your investors, are they outside of Alabama, or do they tend to be more local investors? And for those clients who don't live in Alabama, do they usually or frequently visit the area prior to purchasing?
We currently have a good mix of individuals here locally and throughout the U.S. And I mean, we have investors as far as Singapore. So we have very diverse group of investors that we work with. Um, some choose, I would say that more than not, investors outside of the state don't come to our area. I mean, there's nothing to say. We welcome anybody to come visit with us, and we'll take you around and show you, properties and show you the area and make you feel. We'll give you the southern welcome. But we just find that most of our investors, we take a ton of pictures and do a lot of stuff on the front end to make sure that you're comfortable with our properties and that you can see those properties. We also do, all of our properties have inspections, and you get copies of the inspection reports. You can have appraisals done on those properties if you choose to do so. So a lot of our investors choose to work with us. That choose to work with us don't necessarily come to our market personally and buy from us. However, we encourage everybody to come visit with us, just because we like to meet our clients face to face, and we like to show them the market that they're investing in.
Great. All right. Well, that's all the questions that people have submitted at this point. Again, we're always available to anybody who is looking for more information, perhaps wants to find more out about specific properties, current inventory. As Jeff said, things go very quickly in their market, and so what you saw today may not be what's there tomorrow. But of course, we can always get you the latest and greatest information. Again, my name is Megan Hartman. I am with the Professionals Invest USA Network. Um, there's my contact information, or feel free to reach out to whoever it was who invited you to attend today, who's part of the Invest Network, and they can also get you started and keep you moving along. So with that, thank you so much for attending. This has been recorded and will be sent out to all attendees of the webinar this evening. So thanks so much, Jeff.
Thank you.